2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome on in. This is another episode of On Beat Off Script. We're getting into our album reviews, and this time around we're going to be covering Against the Dying of the Light by José González. But before we kind of get into that, I'm joined here. I'm Brandito, and I'm joined with Bob and Mel. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good. Getting in the thick of things, enjoying the Saturday, having a good day.
It's nice
April.
to be covering albums, all three of us together again for the first time of the year, which is appreciated. It's just been a lot going on for myself, for Bob. I mean, Mel's always got a lot going on. We won't get into that unless she completely blanks out on a single by somebody again, which you'll find out about in the Track Attack, which will be coming out later this week if you guys want to check that out. Because we already recorded that because we do things in a certain order, and so make sure that you peek that if you want to hear what's going on with Mel's family life. But we'll jump right into it. So José González, who is he? Let me tell you. José González is a Swedish indie folk singer-songwriter from Gothenburg, Sweden. The child of Argentine parents who fled Argentina during the 1976 coup. He grew up listening to Latin folk and pop music, which are not necessarily the most conventional Swedish music tastes. He noted Latin folk artist Silvio Rodriguez alongside like Bob Marley and the Wailers, who was his first concert actually, and Michael Jackson as pretty substantial influences on him. He also has his master's in molecular biology from the University of Gothenburg and was in a PhD program before he dropped out to pursue music. He was about to be Dr. González.
Wow.
And decided to be folk songwriter José González. He started out in a band called Back Against the Wall, which was a hardcore punk group influenced by the band Black Flag and the Dead Kennedys.
Who is this man?
And then he joined another hardcore band called Renaissance, as well as a rock band, so he milded it out a little bit with Only If You Call Me. In 2003, though, he dropped his debut solo release, a 2-track single, which led to him being signed by starting out Imperial Records, being their first official artist. That led to him dropping his debut album, Veneer, landing in the UK and US in 2005. He dropped In Our Nature, his sophomore album, in 2007, influenced by books on evolutionary biology, go figure, and ethicism, which also won him a European Border Breakers Award. This went hand in hand with the release of a documentary about him called The Extraordinary Life of José González.
Wow. The Extraordinary Ordinary Life, yeah.
Extraordinary Ordinary Life, yeah, pardon me. Thank you. His third album, Vestiges and Claws, released in 2015 and received the Impala Album of the Year award. And then his fourth studio album, Local Valley, dropped in 2021. His sound is a pretty conventional strum and hum sound, really focused on his solo classical guitar and really soft vocals, pretty conventionally indie folk singer-songwriter kind of stuff. Very stripped down, introspective, subtle with philosophical and nature-inspired themes alongside intricate finger-picking guitar, right? Against the Dying of the Light is a continuation of these themes and thoughts in Local Valley with a less kind of internal position and more kind of like a beckoning outwards for everybody to turn towards their humanity in a time when, you know, technology seems to be really shaping our human nature kind of more and more. But before we get too into it, remember, technology is how people are listening to this, Mel.
We're going too far into it.
It's fine.
We're
actually
want to
all
hit the
AI.
pause.
Everybody watching at home. This is.
I'm blown away.
Very real on beat off script deep fake.
Right. I'm blown away that José Gabriel González is Swedish.
Yeah.
First of all, that's obviously a very Latin name. And of course the music very Latin based, I would say. It makes a lot more sense now why there were a few songs in this album that were Swedish. I'm like, what a weird juxtaposition there. So I'm blown away by that. I've been looking forward to Jose Gonzalez for a while. I only know him through a couple of songs, but I love those songs. Crosses is one of his bigger songs that is featured in the Life is Strange video game, and then Far Away, which is another song he did that was featured in the Red Dead Redemption soundtrack. Which is a huge song in that game. So I love those two songs. I've always loved hearing some of his stuff, and I can't wait to dive in.
100%. Mel, what about yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if I have any experience with Jose Gonzalez, but this was right up my alley. Yeah, I listened to a lot of like indie folk. He was giving me like Ben Howard vibes every once in a while, and I was a huge Ben Howard fan for a while. So yeah,
I can see that.
I settled into this pretty instantly.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, let's start things off then with the opening track, A Perfect Storm. Let's go ahead and listen.
All right.
Hey now, it's not right now. If we're the ones to cause a storm, it's an understated. Ignoring all the combined tailored risks. Gambling with our common fate to quench the thirst of a few.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I love the bass and tempo, and then there's just the general guitar strumming, and this is just so good. It's a very hypnotic rhythm to start off the album. Vocals are soft but powerful, which is kind of Jose's thing. Love this. Love the beginning of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I instantly loved his vocals. I really liked the gentle, like acoustic guitar, but everything happening behind him was so like atmospheric and intense. Like it was like the soundscaping was really nice. I really liked how like the chorus vocals and cadence like completely competed with each other with like the instrumentation. It got like so wild. It also kind of like perfectly embodied a storm for me. So I was a pretty big fan. Yeah. I love how the highs and lows are so dramatic and the way he weaved them in and out. And that like really gentle strumming got like really aggressive at the end. And I love a good build up. I was instantly pretty excited for this.
It's super classical guitar sounding from the start, but you do get that permeating bass line, which I really appreciated. That was really nice. The guitar is very forward from the vocals I found on this. Almost aggressively so, which made it feel very ambient in its nature, even though it is singer-songwriter kind of all the way through. It's really pretty. It builds up really nicely. It was sleepier, which I guess is supposed to be kind of what you would expect from an indie folk, artist. But I thought that it opened nicely. It falls into place kind of at the end, like you mentioned, Mel. I hope for a little bit more vocal forward stuff as we were kind of moving onward. But yeah, it was a fine start for me. Yeah, 100%. And that takes us into Etyd, E-T-Y-D. I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Tell me in the comments, please. But let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of that.
Simply say it's fate and destiny to say that whatever will be, will be. To rely on the to believe all wills are equal under the sun, to be carried on by the seasons, oblivious to the chorus spikes and waves.
I really like the subtle, like rhythmic shifts in the guitar pattern throughout the song. You start to dive into the lyrics, and this basically is a song about blissful ignorance. And he touches on this theme later on in the album, but he kind of is talking about wanting you to kind of grow up and see what's out there, and like understand that not everything's rosy. I didn't like the song as much as the first one, but I think it's definitely strong.
Yeah, sonically, I said this one was really pretty, but the lyrics are what's standing out for me the most. I do wish he enunciated a little bit better throughout because I feel like
Swedish / Spanish.
yeah, but like I think that sometimes the lyrics are getting lost, and I think the messaging is important. So I wish they weren't getting as lost.
That's classic Jose, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, really liked, like the lyrics in general just really spoke to me. Like the whole ending, like this is fine if you're a child or aim to remain as one. Like I really liked that call out because like life isn't inherently equal, like he's saying, and life takes work. And anybody who just puts, I don't know, their life into like fate's hands really fucking pisses me off. Like, and it removes all accountability, which also pisses me off. So yeah, this one like spoke to me lyrically, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty, again, just really conventional classical guitar on this. It's really pretty, short and sweet. It's really longing, but still kind of sits in that sleepier spot. I felt like this one did hit a little bit clearer from the previous song, just because of the way that the vocals and stuff like that are produced. Plus, maybe just the composition a little bit. I think that I kind of liked on this one a little bit more. It's really pleasant, but again, just because of the softness of it, like I didn't really have a whole lot to say on it. You know what I mean? Like it does kind of feel like it just continues from the first track. So a lot of this is going to kind of end up merging into itself a little bit, which once we kind of get closer to the end of the album, we'll really kind of, everybody here, including you watching or listening at home, are probably going to understand a little bit better. But yeah, that takes us into our title track, Against the Dying of the Light. So let's go ahead and listen to this for a little bit.
This one made me cry. Yeah, this one really hit me in the feels. Just the whole celebrate the fact that we're alive thing. Really big fan of that. And yeah, again, sonically, I don't have much to add to it, but I'm just really enjoying his songwriting and his storytelling so far. So this is actually probably one of my top 3 out of the album.
Oh, wow.
I really like
this one is where the album started to kind of turn around and actually get me a little bit more engaged, because it feels a lot more indie folk than it does, just classical guitar. Because like the first 2 tracks were really a spotlight on that classical guitar, as opposed to his vocals really coming through, which is more of a sign of an indie folk artist. And so this one really actually kind of brought more of that folk feeling to me. It's still very stripped down, which it makes it feel very like chamber-esque and like very hollow room concerto kind of sounding, which I also appreciate a lot about it. It definitely has a similar aesthetic, but like a little bit of a different delivery than the previous 2 tracks. So like this is, like I said, where the album kind of started to turn around for me a little bit on that side of things.
Yeah. Lyrically, I love the messaging. Could celebrate the fucking fact we're alive. Love that. For me, you use the term sleepiness a little bit in the past 2 songs, and this is the track that seems a bit more sleepy to me. I didn't like this one as much. I love the messaging, not musicality as much, but yeah, good song.
Yeah. That brings us into For Every Dusk. Let's go ahead and listen.
Allow yourself to move on. For every dusk there's a dawn. Sail on, move on.
this one really made me cry.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the one.
I was like, I was tearing up in the fast one. Now I'm like fully crying for this one. The line "scars run deep into the core, but a core that's rotten is not worth whining for" is something that just really stuck with me, and I think I need to live by that a little bit more. I also, that clap beat was so comforting to me throughout. Like like the lyrics were so heavy and like heart-wrenching for me, but that clap was like a constant reminder that we're not alone. And I really, it just hit the feels in the perfect way. Yeah.
It's very soothing to listen to. It's very easy to just let it flow and let it hit you. It's soothing, optimistic, but also sad with these lyrics, certainly. I like that the song was 6 minutes because this is the type of song that you just kind of want to take it all in. You kind of want to feel your way through it. I'm glad it kind of gives you that runway to do that with. This is probably one of my top 2 songs on the album.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites as well, for sure. I like the rhythm of it right off the hop, like you mentioned. You get a little bit more kind of body in the guitar too, and like a little bit of sharpness in a lot of those notes, where everything else really kind of ran into the next note and that kind of stuff in the previous 3 tracks. This one really kind of like gives you a little bit more definition, which I really appreciated. This one hit a lot stronger for me. I'm able to far better like structure the lyrical presence on this one as well, which was a big one, and the guitar just has a way more stable melody that I can really appreciate. It was one of my favorites. It was my favorite for sure on the album up to this point. Has a really nice charm to it. It's cozy. It's less guitar focused, and gives him a lot more presence in the track. And this was a lot more of what I kind of expected from a José González album. Really nice song. Feels like the highlight song of like the album, especially for the fact that it is a 6-minute track, so it does really kind of stand out on that side of things, where everything else really seemed to go by a lot quicker. This was, like I said, one of my favorites on the album for sure. So
awesome,
cool. And then we go into Sheet. Let's listen to Sheet.
Did I fuck up the clip, or is that just supposed to be an instrumental? Because it sounded like the last
instrumental. There was not a whole lot of vocals.
Okay,
this track to begin with. I wrote that like obviously this is mostly a guitar piece. You do get really hollow room vocals, and I personally kind of would have liked to see them cleaned up a lot more. Or really just allow the guitar to just be present solo, right? Like that would have been, I think, like kind of the right balance. The guitar work is really nice though and pleasant. There's no doubt there's an overwhelming talent there. Guitar is really hypnotic. The vocals kind of occasionally break that trance, which I thought was a cool note. And it actually, like, really this track kind of grew on me the longer I was listening to it, just to kind of show how hypnotic it really is. Like, I started off being like, and then as I got to it, I'm like, okay, I could listen to that. So.
Yeah, once you're in that zone, you don't want it to stop. You just want to keep going. Love the messaging of this song, which I'm sure Mel's going to talk about. It's especially in the world today. There's so many people that are just they think they know so much, and they need to stop pretending they know shit they don't know about, and that's a huge fucking problem in our world today. Musically, super simple, super soothing. Guitar work spot on, as you mentioned, Brandon. Solid song. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, my note is all about like the topic or the songwriting or the messaging in this one. It's like it's another topic that makes me rage, but I appreciate how he handles it in such like a sweet and gentle way. It's kind of like we're gentle parenting people. But I don't know. Yeah. Just like, all right, I want to be mad, but I can't because this is so nice and soothing.
Cool. And that brings us into Payarito, our first non-English song of the album. Yeah. So let's go ahead and give this one a spin.
this was so cute.
Yeah. What a breezy, lighthearted little ditty we have here. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so short and sweet, but I thought it was a cute little switch up. It helped with the pacing of the album for me. And that
It
little
100% did.
that little whistle is so charming. Like, wheat.
Yeah.
100% made a big difference. Obviously, going into the more Latin sounding influence, not just because it's actually in Spanish. That obviously is part of it, though. Yeah, you get a little bit of rhythm to this one, which gives a little bit of life, kind of the midpoint of the record. It's a really quick little track. It's almost done as soon as it starts, but yeah, it just helps break up the album.
Yeah. Translate some of the lyrics. Keep walking along the path you're on. Every now and then you look back to see how far you've come. Together we're giving life meaning, which is very nice messaging. Like that. Pretty
Cool.
sweet. Yeah.
Right on. Now we get into Losing Game in brackets. Sick.
Sick.
Let's listen.
Not even close. When did we get distracted? When did we lose our grip? When did we turn on each other? Thought we had everything under control.
This was my favorite on the album. I love that we've got a quicker pace and we're getting some there's some cool, I don't know if it was reverb or something happening in the background, but I liked the layering happening in this one. And that bass was so anxiety inducing considering how gentle everything else has been, but it, I don't know, it sat right with me. And I thought the guitar in this one was way more penetrating. So that really was a nice highlight. But yeah, I like
there's
this
definitely you feel some urgency, right, to the rhythm as it goes along. It's also musically one of my favorite tracks for that reason. I love it when he dives into the kind of the lower octaves, the lower notes in some of these guitar centric tracks. Yeah, this is probably my other favorite on the album.
Yeah. This was one of my favorites. Definitely, it wasn't my favorite, but we get this lower sort of tremolo through the whole thing, which gives it that. It gives it a little bit of energy, but a little bit of a sadistic kind of feeling in its root, which I kind of liked. The finger picking is intense. It commandeers a lot of what goes on this track. But you get that little bit of a reprieve kind of right at the very end of every single verse where he actually pulls the guitar out and then goes back into that really kind of subtle manic strum pattern, which I liked a lot. And then I like that rolling outro where just kind of the repetition of the whispering that sick over and over again. I thought that was kind of cool. So it was one of my favorites on the album for sure, and just definitely gave it a little bit of a different vibe from a lot of the stuff that we kind of already heard throughout the album, which I was a fan of. Yeah. And that takes us into Ay Querida. So let's go ahead and give that a listen, a little bit more Latin for us.
Yeah.
Ay, querida. Ay, querida, te amo. Ay, querida. Ay, querida, te toco.
A big highlight for me on this one was how halfway through the song we completely drift away and come to a complete stop. I liked that take on it because it kind of broke up the sleepiness of the track for me. I really like the intensity of his vocals, how he ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's so quiet you can barely hear him, but it really, I don't know, it stood out to me a lot.
Yeah. This song almost got a little too soft for me at this point, and this one didn't draw me in nearly as much as I would say even the rest of the album up to this point. And there's not much in the way of lyrics. It's the same kind of lyrics the whole way through. Translated, all he's saying is, "Oh my dear, oh what a life you were dealt," and that's kind of what he's saying over and over again. Slightly haunting throughout the track. Yeah, not my favorite track, but yeah, still not bad.
I mean, yeah, it more of the same. It's very soft, very pretty guitars, but it does feel redundant. Kind of at this point of the album, it's very much background music. It doesn't inspire a whole lot of emotion or any kind of forwardness at all, but it does induce a lot of thoughtfulness, which I can understand. It's just another pretty piece. It's pleasant enough, just maybe not the vibe that I was on. And like I said, it's really redundant in its aesthetic. It sort of all blends together, and this doesn't necessarily help that. So
yeah, not a highlight.
Now we get one for the Swedish gang. /Rolls-Royce. I don't know.
Glad you pronounced it. Yeah.
Hon skulle sjunga med kören i kyrkan som hon gjort sedan hon var barn. Prästen kände sig lite ensam, började göra undantag från sin morgon. De så en dag märkte Lucia att hon var gravid. Domaren sa att ta bort en klumpcell räknas som homicid.
Yeah.
So this one, go ahead.
Yeah, it starts off really quietly. It takes until like 40 seconds in before it really actually opens up. But then it opens up to this like way more vocal harmony kind of driven song. Breaks away a little bit from that part that I thought was kind of losing me on the record, which was nice on that side of things.
Yeah.
It's sort of this kind of light groove that I think really helped kind of mix it up. Yeah, it was a nice song, unique with it being a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more vocal forward, and the Swedish was, I thought, a nice little touch there.
Yeah, this one is a bit more dreamlike. I do think it comes back from the previous song where I thought it was too soft. I thought this was a perfect kind of mix of it was just beautiful, absolutely beautifully done musically. The song is about basically women struggling on the lowest rungs of society, which I'm sure Mel will talk about in a minute. It's but in general, I love that he sung in Swedish. Beautiful language. I don't think I've ever really heard Swedish sung quite like this before, so it was beautiful to hear. I like the song.
Usually they're like heavy metal.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
at this point,
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I put bilingual album was already impressive. I wasn't expecting trilingual.
Yeah,
that was.
It's fun
sick.
because he also just was going to have a doctor's in molecular biology.
This man's a genius. It's so impressive.
Sure is.
So
Yeah,
you can learn more on his documentary
Yeah.
about him.
The highlight for this one for me were just the stories he was telling, and my note was like, can we please just as a society leave women alone? Like that's all I got.
Especially Britney. Leave Britney alone in particular.
Yeah, leave Britney alone.
Yeah.
Leave Britney alone. Yeah,
100%.
sad song.
Yeah.
Sad song.
Cool. Well, we got a little bit more Swedish, so I hope you can keep going with that with Gymnasten. Let's go ahead and listen.
Yeah.
Hon lyckades med det omöjliga. Hon flyger, hon lyckades, hon svävar fri. På en tiger upp till himlen och tillbaks igen.
The meows for those that are just listening, that was Mel.
me.
That wasn't in the actual song.
My cat came in meowing at me. I was gonna cut it out of the. I usually take out our audio when the clips are playing.
Oh, sorry, Jose. Yeah, we're just meowing through your music while we play clips for people to learn a little bit about you.
Anyway, on this one, I really like that transition to the spoken vocal. I thought it added like a lot of depth and texture to the sound, and it really helped the storytelling for me. Like I felt like when the lyrics were more observational, I felt like it was done in spoken vocals, but he transitioned back to singing for the outro, which was more like interpretative. I really liked that take. I don't know. That was cool.
Yeah, to kind of build on that. So this song is basically about a gymnast that's so damn good she fucking lands on a mystical tiger and rides away to the sky. Obviously, it's metaphorical, but that's kind of what the lyrics translate to. Is it right?
Or he was just tripping balls. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And the spoken word part was basically like a play-by-play announcer describing what the gymnast was doing and like the super complicated routine. But yeah, it's just a cool storytelling type of music. Very simplistic, I would say, from a music standpoint. But it was also kind of like uplifting, and it was ceremonious kind of stuff. Yeah, pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know about the mystical tiger. That's
yeah, yeah.
This is obviously a bit more uplifting, a way more positive kind of tone in the instrumentals and the vocals. The harmonies with himself are really pretty, and they really do stand out on this one a lot, I found. But again, it does really kind of call into that spot that the rest of the album has of the very low vocal volume and the very focus on the repetitive finger picking. In the background of so many things, I feel like this album would work magically, but as a focused listen, I did really start to find this is tough to get through, just with how the mixing is designed to center on so much of that guitar work, and so much less on the vocal side of things. It was I was starting to kind of feel like it was a little bit tough. But I do have to be honest that I did, and I don't know, I might have to re-listen to this whole album again, because I listened to everything up to this point on just computer speakers while I was working, kind of doing that kind of stuff. I threw in headphones for the last 3 tracks of this album, and I'm wondering if there's a lot of stuff that I missed on a lot of the other tracks. Listening to the clips, I'm not really finding a whole lot of that, but I do still think I owe it to give it a good listen with the headphones in, because there's some notes that I just wasn't hearing, wasn't catching, that kind of stuff. Right. But that took me into Just a Rock, where I made the transition over. So let's go ahead and give this a listen.
All right.
Yes, let's go. Yes, let's go. You're tense, you're stuck, so tense, it's just a rock.
My first note is this is exactly what Garrett says to me when I ask him to massage the knots out of my shoulder. So, and it's just a rock
Just a
back
rock.
there. Anyway.
Classic.
I did make him rub a giant knot on my shoulder last night. Anyway, I really liked how manic the outro was on this. I like how his vocals and the instruments almost got out of sync again. His thoughts were moving so much faster than the music could keep up with. I thought that was a really cool take. I also just enjoy this up-paced beat more than what we've been getting. So it was a nice switch up.
Yeah, I also had a note on the manic outro, which I liked. I think that clip highlighted too, because I wrote down yesterday that I felt like it was just a bit too repetitive. That bass was it's just more prominent how repetitive that was. When they could layer the guitar in it, it's a bit better. But that bass being so repetitive was just rough for me. This is probably one of my least favorite songs on the album in general. But
really, this was my favorite song on the album.
This was your favorite,
by a long shot. Yeah, pretty substantially. The lower tones of the guitar, I just appreciate a lot more. I've listened to lots of classical guitar albums, and so I think just the chiminess of what I feel like the rest of the album has been, I didn't really feel a whole lot of energy. That's, I guess, where we kind of differentiate in terms of what we call sleepy and what we don't. Yeah. Because this one, just like I said, when you have everything just kind of in that really twinkly area, I find that to be what got really repetitive, and this one just felt really unique, really out there. It felt a lot more penetrating, and it gave me a lot more to kind of work with on it. That being said, it was also when I switched over my headphones. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that could have also
yeah.
changed things. I'm wondering if I did a disservice to a big chunk of the album by not having listening that way. Like I said, listening through the clips, I don't know if it really did change a whole lot for me. But those are just samples. I do need to listen to the whole album again the same way, all the way through. But yeah, it was sounding a lot more clear. I liked how... Like I said, I liked how abrasive the beat is. I want something that gives it a little bit more substance. I didn't really find that there was a lot of substance on a lot of those other tracks, and it's because of things like that really like low tone of the guitar that I think made a big difference for me. So
I like the low tone. I just whatever reason the repetitiveness hit me in this one. I couldn't enjoy it as much as the others.
Sure,
but yeah, I'm with you.
Then we go into You and We. So let's go ahead and listen.
You will see. You and me. You will see. You and me.
I really like how lyrically here, like Just a Rock ends by asking the question, can't you see? And I like here it becomes you will see. It almost brought me back to the beginning of the album when he's like criticizing fate. It's like he's taking control of the situation here. If she can't see, then he's going to make sure that she does see, kind of a thing. The lyricism was repetitive for me, but it wasn't like in an annoying way. It was more like after everything we explored, we deserve to stay in this like moment of love and levity for a little bit. So I kind of actually really appreciated that. Yeah, this was cute.
What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, no, it's a really pretty kind of classic guitar opening, like we kind of understood. It stands out with its chimier high notes. Again, I was getting better fidelity out of it, but it really still sat in like that really similar note of the rest of the album in terms of how it atmospherically presents itself. So I still feel like it kind of misses the mark because of that. You know what I mean? Like I've told you now what I like the most on the album, and it's just fell back into the stuff that I didn't like as much. So
yeah, I don't compare this to the beginning of the album because I do think it's feels different to me. It feels a bit more repetitive, a bit more. It's an uplifting, nice little song. It's not my favorite. It's pretty, but it's. It didn't do a whole lot for me. At some points of this album, like it just kind of relegated to background noise for me, and I kept having to like re-listen to a song because I realized I'm zoning out while I'm listening to it. And this is definitely one of those songs where I needed that, and it just didn't hold my attention very well.
Cool. And that takes us into the final track of the album, Joy, Can't Help But Sing. Let's go ahead and listen.
The present cracks a sudden glow from seeds that sleep beneath the snow. Silhouettes will rest, the veil will fall, show the light surrounding all. Fate turns the glass inside the stream. The brighter fire was always within the dream.
From the title here, I was expecting like something that sounded a lot happier and like jovial, and like I kind of appreciated that instead of like an ignorant bliss, he kind of gave us like a more realistic like light in the dark take, and I appreciate how real that feels compared to and considering what we've like explored throughout the album as far as themes go. But yeah, it's fine. It was pretty again.
Yeah. As an album ender, it didn't do a whole lot for me. Yeah, it was again pretty nice messaging. I'm again, I'm kind of tuned out at this point because it's very samey to a lot of the rest of the album. I feel like the rest of the album did a lot of this better, or at least was more hypnotic, kept me engaged. I wasn't blown away.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of a conventional folk vibe here, which as opposed to classic guitar or indie folk, all of that. But it's very sleepy feeling. You have a lot more, it's a lot more melodic with some more forward vocals on it. I really appreciated the transition from those flat notes from the verses to the chorus. I thought that was kind of a cool way to do it, a really kind of organic feeling, which I appreciated on that. But yeah, again, I was like, maybe the fidelity from my speakers really turned this on me. So that definitely could have changed a whole lot. So like kind of a big whoops. I might need to listen to this album again. That being said, Jose, if you're paying attention, your quality on speakers maybe didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. Because I know like making sure that you format things properly is something that a lot of artists make sure that they pay close attention to. So you might want to try that one again.
Like, I'm going to blame him instead of myself.
Well, like, no, because genuinely, like, I have artist friends and stuff like that too. And like, usually if they ever send me something to listen to, I'll listen to it like on my car speakers, I'll listen to it on my computer speakers, I'll listen to it with headphones, I'll listen to it just out of a phone and just hear if there's things that disappear or really like fall apart, because everybody has different ways of listening. So one person might listen to it one way and then end up hating it because they missed a lot of the things that were that are a lot better adapted for listening to it a different way, right?
Yeah.
So
I did try to listen to this a second time in the car because I was kind of enjoying it, and I hated it in my car speakers. I had to turn it off.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, I like really enjoyed it way more with headphones. Also had the same experience with the Harry Styles album. It was really bad through my car speakers.
fun.
Harry Styles and Jose González in the same sentence there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have
100%.
thought?
All right.
All right. So in conclusion,
Mel, you go first.
All right. For me, I said the songs were short and sweet, but I never thought that they overstayed their welcome. The lyricism and storytelling really pulled at my heartstrings throughout. I was pretty emotionally moved by this album. Sonically, I put there's not much variance, but I actually wasn't that upset about it. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered you guys. I love an acoustic guitar. Everything was very atmospheric. His vocals were very pretty. And I liked that the simplicity of the sound kind of let the lyrics and the storytelling be the focus. There were a few like shifts that were subtle, but they did enough to keep me like engaged. It was a lot of it was kind of samey, but I did really enjoy it. It felt like more of a spiritual experience for me more than anything. Like I kind of just emotionally took a lot out of it, but yeah.
What'd you rate it?
I rated it a 7-8.
7-8. Okay. For me, this was it was an emotional, super pleasant to listen to album. Even the songs I didn't like as much, it was still lovely to listen to, and lovely background music. Like it made me happy throughout. It did. I don't think any one song really stands out as one I'll listen to over and over again, but there were definitely some strong points in the album that I wouldn't mind going back through again. I love that the minimalism throughout the album. I love the lyrics and the storytelling. The ones you have to translate, of course, to get the storytelling. It's never fun for an English speaking person, but that's an
us problem.
That's a first world problem, right? Like I said, this did take a few listens for me because I did zone out once or twice because of the style of the music, and even when I've got nothing else going on and I'm just like, I start thinking about other stuff while listening to music, like, wait a minute, like I need to actually critique this. I do, yeah. I love Jose González. I want to hear more of his stuff. I actually want to go back through some of his other discography and not just listen to those 2 singles I talked about earlier. I give this a 7.9 myself.
Oh,
yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think I realized a lot of something was missing. I was missing when I put the headphones in. Obviously, made a pretty big difference for the back end of the album. There's a lot more nuance that my speakers just were not performing properly, so I should revisit it. But since I haven't done that yet, I will say the album is really remarkably pretty and a good listen. Although a lot of it blends into the background, which is hard to stomach since the vocals and lyricism are so strong. The very echoey nature of what I heard made it a very difficult album not to kind of nod off to.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's without its place, but the place it belongs is a lot more selective. And if you grab it with that in mind, then you'll have a fantastic time with it. If you don't, you'll find it redundant, droning, and just very tired. So it isn't for everywhere or every situation, but it's still an okay album for the places that I think it will excel. Again, I listened to it wrong, and that hurt it for me pretty significantly. So, like, don't hate me, Jose. I give it a 6.9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
I clearly listened to it in the right headspace because it kind of like sat with me pretty well. But
nice.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
There you go.
Nice.
Cool. Well, you guys tell us. Are we right? Are we wrong? What's the haps? What's your favorite song off the album? Have you listened to it before? Have you listened to Jose González at all? Are you Jose González? And can you please tell me more about molecular biology? All of that and more. Make sure
He
you drop it in
left
the
that
comments.
part of his life behind, Brandito. Leave him alone.
I don't think you can really.
Yeah, how do you leave that behind?
Molecular
Right?
biology behind you. But guys, this is on Beat Off Script. That was our review of Against the Dying of the Light by Jose González. I'm Brandito. That's Bob. That's Mel. We appreciate you. Hit like. We want you to keep coming back. But we will catch you on the next album review.
Mwah!
Bye.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.